Well, this is about, I think this is about immersion, about content, and about people choosing what they want and so on, and trying to figure out what they're enjoying and so on. That doesn't come from one company, I don't think. I think it comes from a lot of experimentation by a lot of people. And as an investor, I can tell you that some of them will win and some of them will lose. Some will become important parts of bigger things and some will become big entities in their own right. I think we need to understand more about, so a person-wise Steve Jobs, I think we have to understand the enablement part of that, because it's enabled a lot of companies to try to figure out what people want and then real-time enhance it until they get it right, or until they drop off the face of the earth. And there's probably more that are dropping off that are making it. So that whole magic that happened there, it's not just because it's a cute-looking device. It's not just because of A, B, C, or D. There's a combination and a formula there that I think it would be good to understand well and then exploit it, because they're letting everybody exploit it. So there are some other very interesting areas. So if I was kind of to put together a panel, we're looking at 3D, we're looking at augmented reality, what's that really, and all that sort of thing. Well, I think it's a natural way of receiving information, and it's the five senses that are involved there. So if I could put together a panel of people who've done a lot of work with the user interfaces associated with video eyewear, audio things, and so on, I think that would be very interesting, but it's very difficult to put that together. I'm looking at all sorts of companies all around that are working in this one area. They all kind of have a technology approach to this thing, and they're not always consumer. Some of them magically make things that consumer want, or maybe it's even accidentally. So there's a few people that are actually leading in this. And one of them is, there's a company called Vuzix, and their CEO, Paul Travers, I think would be very interesting, because they've been doing quite a lot of work for the military to enhance the reality of warriors in the field, so to speak. And that technology they have been able to take into the consumer market. So they've got a route to get bought and paid for technology. And they just got a contract, for example, to do see-through lenses. I think this is kind of the key to augmented reality. So I think Paul Travers or a group of people like that, moderated well to move them from the technology side of things to the actual applications, would be a very, very interesting thing. Well, I guess you know my name already, Ken Blakeslee, but I'm chairman of Web Mobility Ventures, which is just a small company I started. I was with a large telecoms company working in mobile for a number of years and joined a VC. So my interest is very much around investing. I guess my passion is finding things that are very valuable, interesting, or entertaining to consumers, and that's really what I'm trying to do, is find what are the things that people will do next, what are the big trends, what are the revenue models, what are the commercial propositions, and will somebody actually roll out that commercial proposition? Because just because people want to do something, that it doesn't mean there is a commercial proposition for it, or somebody that will roll it out. And then, you know, thirdly, what's the technology? What are the key technologies, and especially the ones that are missing coming from small companies? And that's really what I'm looking for. In the end. And by the way, eyeballs are quite important, because number one, everybody takes them wherever they go. And number two, they're the monetization proposition that's been around for many, many years. So the good news is there's got to be money in it, because if you've got something that people like, there is a way of monetizing it. And I think that we're still trying to figure that part out. So I think, you know, we touched on it earlier, I think personalization is very, very important here. And not so much search, but discovery. I think content is going to become very pushy, very pushy. And I want that. But it can't be pushy if it's fire hose pushy. I want to know just in time things that I need to know in the context that I'm in and so on. So I think that's going to get better. Not search, but discovery. That's the other thing. I want to know about things that are important to me. I want to discover new things. Sometimes you have to do a lot of searching And I don't know whether it's happened to you, but you often get on the web and you kind of meander. You end up someplace and you'd be intensely interested in something that you didn't even go after in the first place. That's discovery. And I think people like that, and just getting information, getting entertainment, when and where they want it. So I think personal mobility is very, very important to the whole thing. I hate to bring this up, but the adult industry made the internet happen, but it did get taken over quite rapidly. So they put the technology in place. So I'm not going to say that is what's going to do at this time, although it could have a part. I think gaming is quite important. Not the avid gamer that is just got, spends 6 hours a day. Casual gaming. People are playing games that are very situation oriented, very scenario oriented, actually educational without getting caught. I watch my children do things that they're having a good time doing, and I'm saying, oh my God, they're learning about Egypt, things like that. So I think those whole areas are quite interesting, and I think there's some case studies there in gaming and the virtual worlds as well. Some of the games where you get collaboration and interaction with people that you didn't even know. You learn the personality, you learn the trust factors that you can apply to those people. I think those are very interesting, can be moved into. In the old days, we trusted the people that we did business with because we knew them. And now I think we can get back to that. It's kind of back to the old values, but technology enabled. I think something that's quite important here is everybody thinks that people have to be technical to do things. But what's happened now is people know what they want to do, and they find it extremely simple to do it now. And it's intuitive, and they find the value right away. And that's what's so good about this feedback loop of apps that are on your phone and the people that develop them. They can find out right away what people... But it has to be simple. And simple means it's intuitive. It's something I always wanted to do and found valuable, but couldn't do before because I didn't have the technical stamina to get there, if you know what I mean. But then all of a sudden an icon appears on your phone and you push it, and it's like returning home. It's just, it's beautiful. It's what you wanted to do next. I think simplicity is very, very important. You can build on that then. I mean, when you start somebody out simple, then you can add, and that's what the other thing I like about the ability to update apps regularly. You can add things, or you can let people discover things that are one layer deep, which if they saw everything in the beginning, it would overwhelm them. So that whole simplicity leads to more and more things that you can actually use in your life. Another thing is, I mean, we keep calling this thing we carry in our pockets a phone or a smartphone or something like that. I mean, the phone part of it is really going the way of the clock. I mean, you used to have, families had a big clock in the room, and it was a feature. Then it was in every room. Then it's on every wrist. But now it's inside everything. And I mean, we don't call our microwave a clock. We don't call our phone a clock. But the fact is, there's clocks in all of these different things. And a lot of people don't even wear wristwatches anymore because so the phone ended up being something that achieved a real estate position on somebody's body. And it's now something that can become the building block for everything they want to do, including access to immersive content. What they have to do, and I think where there's a little bit left to do, is to get the ability to move that content on the best screen available, the best speakers available. And people are doing that now. You know, they listen with earbuds, and then when they get home they plug it into the big speakers and have a great time with it there. I think that's an area that needs to be developed. About 30 years ago, there was a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And when we read that book, we thought, wow, this is an incredible device that understands exactly what's going on, context, where you are, what's going on, what the problems are, and what the solution is. And we imagined that actually all the information and all the capability was inside that device. Now we know that we have in our pockets The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but that it is nothing but a user interface and connectivity to the galaxy of information that's out there. So that's, I don't know what to call it, and that's maybe the problem we've got. So let's just call it the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.